April 30th, 1927, Volume 21, Glory of the Unity of the Divine Will, and how acting in it is always a divine way. Works and sacrifices that Jesus does in the soul in order to form the kingdom of the Fiat. I was doing my round in the creation to follow the acts of the divine will in all created things, and my sweet Jesus, moving in my interior, told me, "My daughter, one was my will that came out in creation, but it spread and multiplied itself in each created thing. And the soul who goes around in the creation to follow its acts and to embrace them altogether, gathers the divine will that is spread in all things and makes it one, giving me the glory of the unity of it. Then spreading it again in all created things, she gives me the glory of my divine will multiplied and bilocated in so many things. It is something great, my daughter, that the littleness of the creature reunites all together this will of mine, bilocated and multiplied in so many things, so as to say to me, 'One is the glory, the honor, the love I want to give you, because the one act contains everything. It is perfect, and it alone is worthy of you. One was the will that came out from you, and as one do I want to bring it to you.' And then, making use of her loving stratagems, she spreads it again, and she gives me the glory of the supreme Fiat multiplied and bilocated in all things. And I let her do everything, and I delight in and enjoy her loving stratagems. In fact, being in my will, she is in my house, and she can do nothing but what pertains to the celestial family. Her acting is always divine way of acting, that alone can please me and give me perfect love and glory." After this I felt oppressed. The privations of Jesus become longer. I felt all the weight of my long exile and the pain of my faraway fatherland. A profound sadness invaded my poor soul, and my beloved Jesus, moving in my interior, told me, "My daughter, both of us must have patience and think about the work of the formation of the kingdom of the divine will. No one knows what we are doing, the sacrifices it takes, the continuous acts, the prayers that are needed to form and obtain a good so great. No one takes part in our sacrifices. No one helps us to form this kingdom that will bring them so much good. And while they pay no attention to us, they think about enjoying their miserable life without even disposing themselves to receive the good we are preparing. Oh, if creatures could see what passes in the secrecy of our hearts, how surprised with amazement they would be." The same happened when my mamma and I were on earth, while we were preparing, between the two of us, the kingdom of redemption, all the remedies that were needed so that all might find salvation. No sacrifices were spared, nor works, nor life, nor prayers. And while we were intent on thinking about everyone, on giving our life for all, no one would think about us. No one knew what we were doing. My celestial mamma was the depository of the kingdom of redemption, and therefore she took part in all the sacrifices, in all sorrows. Only Saint Joseph knew what we were doing, but he did not share in all our sorrows. Oh, how our hearts ached in seeing that, while mother and son were consuming themselves with pains and with love for all, in order to form all possible and imaginable remedies for all, so as to heal them and place them in safety, they not only did not think about us, but offended us, despised us, and others plotted against my life, even from my birth. This I am repeating with you, my daughter, in order to form the kingdom of the divine Fiat. The world takes from us, even though it does not know us. Only my assisting minister knows what we are doing, but he does not take part either in our sacrifices or in our work. We are alone. Therefore, patience in this long work. The more we work, the more we will enjoy the fruits of this celestial kingdom. April 30th, 1928, Volume 24, Turmoil and New Ordering. How the kingdom of the divine will is decreed. Redemption is the army. The divine word is the generator. I was thinking about the divine will, and oh, how many thoughts crowded my mind. Having transported me outside of myself, my always lovable Jesus had shown me the many chastisements with which he wants to strike the human generations. And I, shaken, thought to myself, how can the kingdom of the divine Fiat come if the earth abounds with evil, and divine justice is arming all the elements to destroy man and what serves man? And besides, this kingdom did not come when Jesus came upon earth with his visible presence. How can it come now? As things are now, it seems difficult to me. And my sweet Jesus, moving in my interior, told me, my daughter, everything you saw will serve to purify and prepare the human family. The turmoils will serve to reorder, and the destructions to build more beautiful things. If a collapsing building is not torn down, a new and more beautiful one cannot be formed upon those very ruins. I will stir everything for the fulfillment of my divine will. And besides, when I came upon earth, it was not decreed by our divinity that the kingdom of my will should come, but that of redemption. And in spite of human ingratitude, it was accomplished. However, it has not yet covered all of its way. Many regions and peoples live as if I had not come, and therefore it is necessary that it makes its way and walk everywhere, because redemption is the preparatory way for the kingdom of my will. It is the army that goes forward in order to form the peoples to receive the regime, the life, the king of my divine will. And so, what was not decreed for that time, we decree today for the fulfillment of the kingdom of our Fiat. And when we decree, all is done. In us, it is enough to decree in order to accomplish what we want. This is why what seems difficult to you will all be made easy by our power. It will act like those mighty winds after long days of thick and rainy clouds. The power of the wind dispels the clouds, takes rain away, and makes the good weather return and the sun embrace the earth. In the same way, more than ruling wind, our power will put to flight the darkness of the human will, and will make the sun of my eternal will reappear to embrace the creatures. And everything I manifest to you, the truths that pertain to it, are nothing other than the confirmation of what we have decreed. Furthermore, if the kingdom of my divine Fiat and the time of its nearing fulfillment had not been decreed before by the divinity, there would have been no reason, nor necessity, nor purpose for choosing you, for keeping you sacrificed for so many years, and for entrusting to you, as to its little daughter, the knowledges of it, its admirable truths, and its secret and hidden sorrows. And not only this, but the divinity has acted with you in a way that is all paternal and maternal, in order to sow in you the seed of divine daughtership, and so that you would take its interests to heart more than if they were your own. This signifies the reality of what had been decreed by us, to the point of choosing the subject, of using the means and of giving the teachings in order to descend down below to the human family and establish in their midst what had been decreed in heaven. If the kingdom of my will had not been decreed, I would not have told you so much about it, nor would I have chosen you in a way all special for this purpose. My word would have been without life and without fruit if it were not so, and without the generative and fecundating virtue, which cannot be. My word possesses the virtue of generating and of forming, through its fecundity, its offspring of endless lives. This happened in redemption because it had been decreed by us in heaven. A virgin was created who was to be the mother of the eternal Word. If this had not been decreed, there would have been no reason nor necessity to create and choose this virgin, wholly unique and special, nor to give so many manifestations to the prophets who depicted the life of the Word in his humanity, describing his pains so vividly as if they had him present with them. Therefore, when our divine benignity deigns to choose and to manifest itself, it is the sure sign and the beginning of the carrying out of its works, which it holds as decreed. Therefore be attentive, and let your Jesus do everything, because neither power nor means are lacking for what I want, and for carrying out what I have decreed. April 30th, 1932, Volume 30. How living in the divine will is a gift. Example of the poor one, and example of the king. How the gift is an excess of love and magnanimity of God, who neither cares nor wants to keep accounts of the great value that he gives. I felt myself all immersed in the divine volition. A crowd of thoughts preoccupied my mind, but always about the Fiat itself, because in it one cannot think of anything else. Its sweet enchantment, its light that invests everything, its so many truths that line up all around like a formidable army, send far away all that does not pertain to it. The happy creature who finds herself in the divine will finds herself in a celestial atmosphere, completely happy, in all the fullness of the peace of the saints. And if she wants anything, it is only that everyone would know a volition so lovable, so holy. She would want that everyone would come to enjoy her happiness. But I thought to myself, but how can it be that the creatures can come to live in the divine will in order to be able to form its holy kingdom? And my beloved Jesus, surprising me, told me, "My daughter, how little you are! One sees that your littleness does not know how to elevate itself into the power, immensity, goodness, and magnanimity of your Creator. And from your littleness you measure our greatness and our liberality. Poor tiny one, you get lost in our interminable powers, and you do not know how to give just weight to our divine and infinite ways. It is true that, humanly speaking, the creature is surrounded by evils as she is. To live in my volition, to form its kingdom in their midst, it is as if you would want to touch heaven with your finger, which is impossible. But what is impossible for men is possible for God. You must know that living in our will is a gift that our magnanimity wants to give to creatures. And with this gift, the creature will feel himself transformed. from poor to rich, from weak to strong, from ignorant to learned, from slave of vile passions to sweet and voluntary prisoner of a will all holy that does not keep him prisoner, but king of himself, of the divine dominions, and of all created things. It will happen as to a poor one who dresses with wretched rags, lives in a hovel without doors, therefore exposed to thieves and enemies. He does not have sufficient bread so as to satisfy his hunger and is constrained to beg for it. If a king would give him 1,000,000 as gift, the poor one would change his lot in life, and he would no longer be the figure of a poor beggar, but of a lord who possesses palaces, villas, dresses with decency, has abundant foods, and is placed in the condition of being able to help others. What has changed the lot of this poor one? The 1,000,000 he received as gift. Now, if a vile coin has the virtue of changing the lot of a poor unhappy one, even more the great gift of our will. Given as gift, it will change the unhappy lot of the human generations, except one who voluntarily wants to remain in his unhappiness. More so because this gift was given to man at the beginning of his creation, and ungrateful he rejected it by doing his will, withdrawing himself from ours. Now one who disposes herself to doing our volition prepares the place, the decency, the nobility for where to be able to put this gift so great and infinite. Our knowledges on the Fiat will help and prepare her in a surprising way to receive this gift. And what has not been obtained up till today, they will be able to obtain tomorrow. Therefore I am doing as a king would, who would want to elevate a family with bonds of kinship with his royal family. In order to do this, first he takes one member of them. He keeps her in his royal palace. He raises her. He eats together with her, accustoms her with his noble ways, entrusts his secrets to her, and in order to make her worthy of himself, he lets her live of his will. And in order to be more secure, and in order to not let her descend into the baseness of her family, he makes her the gift of his volition, so that she could hold it in her power. What the king cannot do, I can do, by locating my will in order to make a gift of it to the creature. So the king has his eyes fixed on her. He always goes embellishing her, dressing her with precious and beautiful clothes in a way that he himself feels enamored, and not being able to endure it any longer, binds her to himself with the lasting bond of marriage in a way that one becomes gift of the other. With this, both parts have the right to reign, and that family acquires the bond of kinship with the king, and the king, for love of she who has given herself to him, and because he has given himself to her, calls that family to live in his royal palace, giving them the same gift that he gave to her, whom he loves so much. So have we done. First, we have called one from the human family to live in the royal palace of our volition. Little by little, we made her the gift of its knowledges, of its most intimate secrets. In doing this, we experienced indescribable contentments and joys, and we felt how sweet and dear it is to let the creature live in our volition. And our love pushed us, rather it used violence on us, to make her the gift of our omnipotent Fiat. Even more because she had made the gift of hers to us, she was already in our power, and our divine will could be secure and at its place of honor in the creature. Now, after we had made the gift of our Fiat to a member of this human family, she acquires the bond and the right of this gift, because we never do works and gifts for one only, but when we do works and make gifts, we always do them in a universal way. So this gift will be ready for everyone, provided they want it and dispose themselves. Therefore, living in my will is not the property of the creature, nor is it in her power, but it is a gift, and I make it when I want, to whom I want, and in the times that I want. It is a gift of heaven made by our great magnanimity and by our inextinguishable love. Now, with this gift, the human family will feel itself so bound with its Creator that it will not feel far away from him any more, but so near as if it would be of his same family and would live together in his same royal palace. With this gift it will feel so rich that it will not feel the miseries, the weaknesses, the tumultuous passions any more, but everything will be strength, peace, abundance of grace. And recognizing the gift, it will say, "Nothing is lacking to me in the house of my celestial Father. I have everything at my disposition, always in virtue of the gift that I have received." We always give the gifts as effect of our great love and our greatest magnanimity. If this were not so, or we wanted to care if the creature merited it or not, if he had made some sacrifices, then it would not have been a gift any more, but payment, and our gift would be rendered as right and slave of the creature, while we and our gifts are not slaves of anyone. In fact, man did not yet exist, and before he was, we already created the sky, the sun, the wind, the sea, the flowered earth, and all the rest, in order to make a gift of it to man. What had he done in order to merit gifts so great and perennial? Nothing. And in the act of creating him, we gave him the great gift that was superior to all the others, our omnipotent Fiat. And although he rejected it, still we did not forsake giving it any more. No, but we kept it reserved in order to give it to his children, the same gift that was rejected by their father. This gift was given in the excess of our love, that is so much that it doesn't know how to make nor care about the accounts, while the payment that it gives, if the creature does good works and sacrifices himself, it gives with just measure and according to what he merits. Not so with the gift. Therefore, for one who will be able to doubt, it means that he does not understand about our divine being, nor about our liberality, nor where our love can reach. Nevertheless, we want the correspondence of the creature, his gratitude, and his little love. End of April 30th. Fiat.